Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It is a bunch of names and it is designed to go on an inner forearm space, and it's set at a taper, which I have marked out with these red lines here of the maximum and minimum space that was described for my commissioner. And my commissioner also said to make it a little bit less of an exact taper and just to fluctuate in between the parameters, which I believe I did to the T here, where I have each circle kind of reaching the minimum thickness, right? But never expanding past the maximum thickness, and alternating kind of both up and down, as well as big and small. So it's got a nice amount of fluctuation, but still very much fits in the desired space. So let's go ahead and read these names. So I have them written up here in regular letters, and here is the unraveled version of the script, where each word circle is actually in a line. So this M is at the bottom here, A is here, a T is here, an H is here, the I is here, the A is there, and then the S is here. So that will kind of help roadmap the the grid which is above me, where it shows the different rows and columns that the different letters are in. And reading order is bottom counterclockwise. So let's go ahead and get to it. So this is our word circle for Matthias, and we have this full circle inside our word circle with one line ending on it here, and then this thick one going here and here ends both here and here. So it counts twice because it ends both here and here. And an M is a full circle with 3 lines as shown here. So we have 1, 2, 3 lines on a full circle. So that's our M. Now our A is this little guy outside our word circle. A T is a shallow divot with no modifiers. This H is a deep divot, so more like a horseshoe shape. And it has those 2 thick lines ending on it as well. And then this I has a line going inwards towards the middle of our word circle. This up doesn't mean up, it means inside, it means inwards. Where the U would be going outwards and would look down on something unraveled like this, but it goes inwards towards the center of our word circle. So here is our I line going inwards, and then this little A is positioned outside our word circle, just like that one. And here's another shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines on it, just like this shallow divot with 3 lines on it. So 1, 2, 3 lines. So that's Matthias. And then we have Phineas. And a PH can actually be done as just one letter. So let me go ahead and get rid of this. And we're gonna make this red for Phineas's circle. And a PH here is a full circle with 1 dot on it. And stylistically, I broke these little circles to kind of make it look more Celtic knot-y and have like a little bit less visually overwhelming crossing circles. Plus, I think it just looks kind of cool. And we can still tell that this here is a full circle, even though it's not actually a full circle, just because, you know, if we follow this line through, it would be a full circle. And this wouldn't be mistranslated as anything other than a full circle, so it doesn't look close to anything else other than a full circle in the script, so that's why we can do this little stylistic thing. Anyway, this is our PH with 1 dot here. Another I with a line going inwards. The N is another full circle, except it has 1 line ending on it. So it's important that this line crosses here. See how this line crosses here? And this one ends here. That's an important distinction, because a PH has 1 dot, but an N has 1 line. And our E is centered inside of our consonant when it's attached like this. Our A is outside, and then this is another S, done just like our last S, where there's this 2 counting thicker circle that ends both here and here, and then our 3rd line branches off here. So that is Phineas. And then we have Gordon. A G is a horseshoe shape with 1 line. Our O is crossing our letter, so if you have an attached consonant, so like this is a G with an O on it, the O is like a little bead on a string, so like this one here, so I should actually do that. Oops. So we have a G with an O on it, and then an R is a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots on it. And then a D is this horseshoe shape with 1, 2, 3 dots on it. And our O is attached to it again. And then the N is a full circle with 1 line ending on it. So it's important that this line does not fully pass through. And if you're watching this video while still in the chair after getting your tattoo, and a little mistake like a line continues where it's not supposed to, that's still very fixable. All you gotta do is add another connection point, so you could just stick off another line here, and another line here, and call it good, because one line ending on it is what matters. So we can just add more lines, and if this line happens to go all the way through, it simply doesn't count. It's just decorative then. So then we have Eden. An E is a little guy on our word circle right here. And a D is a horseshoe with 3 dots, 1, 2, 3. An E is right here. And then our N is a full circle with 1 line on it. So for Malachi, we have our full circle inside our word circle with 1, 2, 3 lines ending on it. And then an A outside our word circle. And an L with 1, 2, 3 dots on it. I'm going to go ahead and take this A off of that. And then another A here, which I'll center a little bit, like that. And we also don't have the I enclosed on this one. But a K is a full circle with 2 dots. And then our I, again, has a line going inwards. So that's Malachi. And then Rhea, we have an R, this shallow divot with 3 dots. An H, which is this horseshoe shape with 2 lines on it. E is not enclosed, so here's our E by itself. And then another A outside our word circle. And then for Escher, we have an E on the line of our word circle. An S, which is this shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines. A TH crossing our word circle. An E on our word circle. And then an R with 3 dots. So that is that design. A lot of this stuff going around the outside is just kind of extra fanciness and set and circle and decoration, and it gives a little bit more pizzazz. So basically, everything that isn't part of these word circles that I denoted is more just decoration and like filler, just to make it look extra fancy, kind of like, you know, the fancy filigree on like cursive or something. And most of the guts of the words are just what's written here, just those elements are what's needed. But that doesn't mean it affects or changes the translation. I guess this looks kind of like the number 00, which is concentric circles, and then this is a thicker decimal place, and there's no numbers in there. If I put lines and dots in there, it would look like numbers. But yeah. Oh, and one more thing. So as far as the tattoo's scale and the line thickness, the majority of the lines are 0.7 millimeters, which is like the width of a standard pencil lead. Our very thinnest lines are 0.4 millimeters, which 0.4 millimeters is basically as thin as you can go with one needle and one pass, and this will kind of fade to give it a little bit more depth over time. I have some, you probably can't see it on the video. Let's see if we can. So on my design, it's done very similarly, with the thinnest lines being 0.4 millimeters, and they bleed out to be closer to 0.7 millimeters over a couple years. And then the 0.7s bleed out to be like, you know, 1.2 millimeters. But yeah, so it should be doable with a tattooer's single needle for the thinnest lines, and then your typical line work bundle for the medium thickness lines. And then the thicker lines are going to be a couple of passes, so like, you know, do the outlines and fill it in kind of a thing. So yeah, that is that design. Hope you like it. Thanks.